Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. Hey guys, hope you're well. So in this video, I am finally here with the success story you have all been waiting for. This is going to be a success story of manifesting a proposal after years and years of hot and cold. I talked about it a little bit in one of my previous videos, like the last video that I posted where I talked about power struggle games and manifesting. I would highly recommend either before watching this one or after watching this one to watch that video, because there would be some things that I would be discussing here that will have relevance and it would be connected to the previous video. So I will start by talking about the success story. I will tell you what the success story is, and I will explain in detail what this person and I worked on. How did we go forward with it? What were the things that we focused on? What were the issues that were there? So let's get into it. So here goes. Hi Karan, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to give you an update. My SP called me and we met. So while discussing, he said, I will try to convince my mother to meet your parents for marriage, or let me try. And yesterday he said that she's ready to come and meet my parents. I'm not able to control my emotions and not even able to tell how I'm feeling. This is a moment in my life which I was manifesting, that his parents should come and meet my parents for marriage, and he agrees for marriage with me. So this is the success story. This makes me immensely happy to share this with you, because this is a client I have been working on for a while now, and she was and has been struggling with a lot of issues, because there are different places where people are at when they are starting this journey, but she was one of those situations where the place that she was starting at was very down. So for her to get from there, even thinking about herself was a win, right? Even just basically thinking about herself as a human being was a win. So for her from there to achieve this is absolutely amazing. So let me share the story that I'm like, what she actually went through, and the story with the specific person, so that you have a better understanding of it. So she met this guy, let's call him X, right? Because there are going to be two men involved in this equation. So let's call him X. And X is the specific person. So she met X, the SP, a while back. At that time, they had no connection, nothing, and they were just friends when they started. Then they lost touch. They just grew apart because there was nothing there. Then she got into a relationship with this guy, Y. Now, Y is a guy that she was involved in for 6 years. Now, this relationship was a very rocky relationship. This relationship had everything. They were moving forward. The relationship was very hot and cold. This girl, because of the family that she came in, had no definition of what a relationship should be. Now, what exactly, when I have talked about this in one of my previous videos too, where I said that this person had no definition, like no understanding of what a healthy relationship is. What that actually means is there are two things that were involved for this person specifically. First, because all she had seen in her life were toxic relationships. For her, they were not toxic relationships. They were basic relationships, right? So for me, if I am in a situation where I am coming from a place where all I have seen are toxic relationships, the first thing that will happen is I would be more open to accepting breadcrumbs, because I would think that that is something that is a normal part of a relationship. So if me and any other person, we are there on the same place, someone behaving or misbehaving with me, I would have a bigger tendency to accept that, because I think that that is how it works, than the other person. That's the first thing. The second thing is, even if I'm not fully accepting that, I would have a lesser tendency to actually stand up for myself, because I believe I don't deserve to be treated right, because that's what I have seen since I have been younger. That is what the case was for her. So she kept going on, and that relationship for 6 years was a very on and off relationship. They were together, they broke up, they were together, they broke up. There was a third party, they broke up. There was another person involved, they end up breaking up. Till the level that eventually they said that, oh, let's get married and everything. And while they were about to be married, one day this guy just said that, hey, I don't think I can go forward in this dynamic with you. And then 2 weeks later, she found out that that guy was cheating on her with one of her friends or someone, like, so that relationship ended there. Now, when something like that happens to someone, because your mind has a tendency to try to protect you, what it will do is your mind will try to protect you by creating patterns. The pattern that it will create here is by assuming that, okay, moving forward, let's just make a default setting that all relationships will end up in a similar pattern. Because when I was expecting the relationship to go forward in a good way and it didn't, I am the one who got hurt. And when I am the one who got hurt, I don't want that. So might as well try to gather some control by assuming that all relationships are going to be that way, right? So that I don't get involved in any of them, and eventually I can at least protect myself from getting hurt. That's the first thing. Secondly, my mind will tell me, hey, you got cheated on. You know that you were settling in that relationship. I cannot trust your ability to be in a place where you are making decisions, because when you are making those decisions, they are not trustworthy. They have led me into feeling hurt. Thirdly, it will also impact how I view men in relationships, because if the guy that I am involved in for a long period of time, this is how he has been behaving with me, that is what my perception of men will become. And lastly, I will develop an unconscious belief of not wanting to be in a relationship, because every time I'm there, I have to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability has hurt me, and I don't want to be hurt. Of course, I don't want to be hurt, and to protect myself from getting hurt, I would consistently look for situations where the relationship would be either hot and cold or wouldn't be turning into anything, because that's why my way of trying to keep myself safe. That is what she was involved in. So she met X, the SP, again years after that. They connected, and this was just a random connection that they made. And while they started talking, she started gathering feelings for this person, and this person was at that moment involved with someone else. They kept talking, they kept going forward, and this guy, he ended up breaking up with the girl that he was involved in, and they started, talking. This guy proposed that he wanted to be in a friends with benefits scenario, but she said that I don't want to be, but because her boundaries were coming from a poor place, she got involved in that situation. Without even knowing, this situation went on for years. It's the same situation as the last one. She kept going on. This guy kept giving her hopes. They kept moving forward. And I wouldn't even blame him in any capacity, because he used to be very clear, hey, I am only looking for a friends with benefits. She had a problem with boundaries. She never used to put up boundaries because she thought that if I stick long enough, maybe he will change his mind and give me commitment. Because of that, she kept sticking towards him. Because she kept sticking towards him, he was also not bringing that to the table, and she kept creating resentment. The situation kept being hot and cold. Now this is where we met. So first we understood everything. Like, I understood her situation. I think we met a while back, I think a year ago, and we have been working on different aspects of her life. She's one of those clients who took my self-concept course, and then she took coaching. After we got into coaching, we worked on a few things. We started to work on how boundaries are supposed to be, what she should go after, that how right now her primary focus should be her. We also worked a lot on changing her perception of how healthy relationships should be, changing her perception of how to integrate that in her life, and changing her perception of the guy. But, and I know that this is a question a lot of people have, this stage where you are able to work on these things comes way after you are working on yourself. So at the start, self-concept work is the basis of everything. Not because you want to make your manifestations conditional, but because you want to be in a position where you are working on yourself and you are creating a base for yourself, so that later whatever you are going to be focusing on actually has a healthy outcome, actually works out, actually is something that gives you some result from it. So that is what the eventual focus is. Working on the middle paths is something that is like all these things in terms of relationships is important, but it is the second and the third and the fourth step. A lot of people don't even reach that first step, and they have not even crossed that first step, and their focus is to get onto the fourth step. It's because they are coming from desperation, longing, and craving. That doesn't help. It only ensures that you're not going to lead into the place that you want, because eventually self-concept will become the basis of everything. After working on these things, this is the first time that this woman created a boundary with this guy, that hey, at this moment I don't think this relationship is leading where I want it to be, and I don't think that we can lead into that direction. We have to create this boundary, right? So she created this boundary. After that, they went into no contact. Because we were already working on this, she was surprisingly doing great. Not surprisingly, but she was doing great. She was in a position where she was understanding that, oh, I need to work on myself. I need to go in that direction. And we were in a no contact period fully. One thing that she was struggling with in a super consistent way
was that she was struggling with her perceptions. Every time any person used to come in her life, friend, any person that she used to date, anyone in any capacity, her first perception was that this person is going to cheat on me, or this person is going to hurt me. This friend is not going to be loyal. My boss is going to fire me. My friends are not going to treat me right. This guy that I'm talking to might disrespect me. It's because that is her mind's way of trying to protect her by consistently telling her that, hey, this is what your situation is, and you have been hurt in the past, so might as well assume that the worst case scenario will happen, because that's the only way that I know to keep you safe. That is what she was consistently getting into. We had to work a lot on her perceptions, and honestly, we are still working on her perceptions. Another thing, she was a very big, consistent power struggle game player in relationships. Now, what are power struggle games in relationships? The previous video is all about that. You can check it out. But she was in this consistent zone of, oh, for 2-3 days I will post these stories so that he can see, and he can see that I'm having a life outside of him, and maybe he will reach out to me. I will text his friend so that his friend knows that I'm available, and then his friend can tell him that she was thinking about you, and he can text me. I will wear these clothes that I know that he will like, and I will go near the place, go near his gym, so that I know that he probably will be there, and then maybe he will see me and he will come to me. She was playing these power struggle games, and it was actually not coming from a good place. It was just creating more and more desperation and creating more and more lack. It was cementing her identity as a chaser very regularly, which is something we had to stop. Now, like I said, the previous video explained this in detail, so you can check that out. We also had to work a lot on forgiveness. We had to work towards forgiveness towards her. We had to work towards forgiveness towards this guy, right? Because of the resentment that she had developed based on the expectations that she had. After working a lot on these things, this guy reached out of the blue after months of no contact. He just came out and he said that, hey, this is what the exact message that I read. Now, this is after he messaged her this, she freaked out for a minute. She said that, oh, I received this movement, and even though I have been working towards and on myself for a while, I was just scared, and what will happen then in this, and what will happen moving forward. We are still working on it, and she is, of course, like, I'm handling it, and we are going in a good direction now because she is changing her perceptions now. But this just proves to the point that I was saying, that her perceptions were a very big issue. But now that we are working on it, I have no doubts into believing that I will be posting the marriage success story too. I yesterday got an invitation from a client who I posted his success story here. He manifested marriage with his specific person. He invited me to his marriage, and I am pretty sure that I will be posting the success story of this client very, very soon. After her marriage is finalized, I will be posting it on Instagram and here too. So I hope that you enjoyed the success story. I hope that you can learn from this. I hope you can understand that working on yourself comes without any excuse. It has to be done. There is no way out of it. And the faster you can understand that, the better it is. Because the more patient that you are towards the work on yourself, the faster manifestation results would come. So I will see you guys in the next video, and hope you have a good one.
Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions, and I will see you guys in the next one.